And we're back. Game number 2 of our leadoff best of 3 of the day. Na'Vi looking to conclude their D2L Western Challenge run. A win here puts them in the running for a top slot. EG currently sitting at 5-1 has one best of 3 left to play, while Na'Vi, they're at 5-1 as well. Or excuse me, they're at 4-2 actually. If they win today, that'll make it 5-2 and put them in full-on contention with EG for our top 2 slots in postseason play. The top 2 teams will end up getting a bye through the first round, while RoX.KIS, this is their debut in the Western Challenge, and they'll be playing a lot of matches over the next 14 days to finish out their schedule as well. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers, joined once again by Trouf to help break down the draft and lend insight and analysis. But another Lycan pick makes it through, and we get to see Ember Spirit as well. And, we saw at Star Ladder that Lycan wasn't quite as scary to many of those teams as he had been anticipated to be and had been shown to be throughout play leading up to it. But yeah, game 1, RoX.KIS unable to get a handle on the beast.
Well, they already have one hero that can contend with him later on, so it's already a little bit better in that sense. Ember Spirit, they get that, but obviously they're still going to have to press the issue against the Lycan, and that's what teams just did against teams that picked up Lycan and Star Ladder and Na'Vi. They do have, one thing that's interesting to note too is that it did make quite a bit of a difference which side Lycan was on. When Lycan was on Radiant, he definitely had not as good of a time. Just in general, not just Star Ladder, but just in general, he always seems to have a better time on Dire, easier access to that Roshan, and I think that's the biggest reason why. But Ember Spirit and Bane now picked up, so they already have some good lockdown for Lycan as far as being able to keep him in place, even though he has haste movement speed when he pops out ultimate. So already I like things a little bit better here from RoX.KIS. Also one thing to note is that it's y'all drafting, not Go Black, as I think Go Black is usually their drafter.
Yep.
So yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, it's just the way it is. Anyone can draft at any point. It's just right now he is sitting at the top, so tough to call when imagine it is. It is one of the two, though, one way or the other. But I like the Bane pickup a lot, as you had said, going up against the Lycan. Really like the way Dazzle and Lycan work together early on. But the Bane pick, outside of, again, having the ultimate, as you had mentioned, Fiend script to lock him down in these fights early on, it can also create some problems for him in lane if you do want to try to aggressively tri-lane into him once again. Just being able to enfeeble him early on makes it difficult for him the last hit. It makes it difficult for him to really be any kind of a threat, even off of solid follow-up stuns and so on. And of course, the Mirana banned out by Na'Vi was going to say before they banned her that tends to combo very well off of the Nightmare into these Sacred Arrows. So Na'Vi, though, got to get Phonic, the Nature's Prophet, once again.
Yep, and again, they're going to have the Nature's Prophet on Dire with Lycan. Could be scary if they get the ball rolling in their court, but RoX.KIS, one good thing about Ember Spirit, and correct me if I'm wrong if you know this, but I've been told, and I believe this is true, that you can actually slide a fist and kill off, if you have like a Battle Fury or 2, you can kill off the Necro minions and not take any damage from killing the red ones. So if there's Nature's Prophet and Lycan building up into Necro 3, as we usually see them do so, he doesn't have to be so scared about killing those off, stopping the push with double Battle Fury, and not taking extra damage from killing the red creeps. So that's a good little thing for him. Elder Titan now picked up for RoX.KIS, and I believe we saw this a couple times in Star Ladder. I think it was picked up by DK, where Ice played it, and I think Ember Spirit was on their team as well. It was Ember Spirit or someone else, but I believe it was Ember, and he did a lot of damage.
Oh yeah,
with comboed up with the, what is that called? The Natural Order.
Yep.
So that was really good and worked out well for him. Could see a resurgence now of Elder Titan perhaps as RoX.KIS picks it up.
Yeah, it wasn't all that long ago that Elder Titan, especially for some teams in particular, Team Liquid one that comes to mind right off the bat, really loved the ET and would pick him up in the first pick in the first phase a lot. And in fact, he enjoyed popularity across the scene as a whole. But you're absolutely right about Ember Spirit and the way he works with Elder Titan's Natural Order. It's just devastating. ET also a hero who can run in the off lane fairly effective as well. Fairly effectively as well, I should say. And now going to grab an Abaddon. And that's an interesting pickup to go with this. I'm curious to see. I mean, this one, looking at the way the lanes could work out, what jumps to mind immediately is the Ember Spirit in the safe lane, or excuse me, in mid with Elder Titan in the safe lane, or you could swap those around and then try to build an aggressive tri lane with the last pick. You see a Bane and an Abaddon, they tend to just really function well in that role if they want to go that direction. And Na'Vi, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. They've got three of their 4 picks we saw last game, and it certainly worked out well for them.
Yeah, they definitely have the means to go aggressive with Abaddon and Bane. The cool thing about Abaddon and Bane is that they both have like life leech abilities, or like, you know, life sustaining abilities. You have shield and then the mist coil, or the what's it called? Yeah, mist coil from Abaddon to kind of heal people up. Bane has his own brain sap to heal himself up. So, and they're also both tanky supports. Like Abaddon's a strength hero, so he's obviously going to be tanky a little bit. Bane has some good strength starting out. So they have them, and they also have good damage. Like Bane's damage is very, very high with Brain Stab once he gets levels up into it. Abaddon's not too bad in his own right. And if they do decide to go aggressive, I think they definitely have the means to do so. The question is whether they go aggressive with Elder Titan, or if they go aggressive with this next hero and then have Elder Titan safe lane against Prophet, which is also a pretty good matchup for Elder Titan as well, because he does lots of damage. If he gets a Quelling Blade, he can just walk right through the Sprout and just hit him for, 150 damage at level 3 or whatever.
Yep.
And Tinker's going to be the last pickup here for Na'Vi.
Really like the Tinker pickup. Gives him even more global presence. Now you've got Nature's Prophet and Tinker's global ability to push, to contend with. And it really does free the map up in terms of the Lycan as well. Lycan, one of those heroes that benefits so immensely from early farm. So if you manage to get up a fairly well-timed set of boots of travel for the Tinker, and he and Prophet just start to bounce around, that's actually going to be a Magnus pickup coming from RoX.KIS, so that kind of throws a kink into things. We'll be solo on the mag, and yeah, it's going to be Goldblack and then Yol on the Bane with 633 playing on the Ember Spirit. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how these lanes are going to end up panning out. But yeah, the Na'Vi's draft is obviously going to have a ton of push, but it's going to have a deceptive amount of burst damage early on too, if they decide to want to fight, and if they can free things up for Avos. And I think that's kind of the point. Whenever you have a Nature's Prophet and a Tinker both on the same team, they're going to be able to push you in so many ways that you're just not going to have time to dedicate the resources and dedicate the manpower that you need to hold down a Lycan once he gets a few early levels and can't just duck into the jungle for a while.
Yeah, and we talked last game about how when you draft a kind of pushing-esque style lineup like Na'Vi has with Treants and Lycan, and even Kuroki on Dazzle for that matter, is it's important to have some kind of initiation. Last game they had Batrider mid for Dendi. This game it's Tinker, and Tinker kind of can fill the same role, not as well, but can do it, but he just needs a lot more items. Like once he gets Blink and Sheep around the mid to late game, it kind of fills the same purpose, if not better, once he gets those items. So you could even go for like Dagon, and it would still kind of fill the same purpose. You blink in, spend all your nukes on someone, kill him instantly. Go Black, he's getting pinged out right here as he sees a couple members of Na'Vi. Shields himself, and might even get body blocked here by Havos. And he is blocked, he eats a tree, he should be fine. But some early aggression coming out from both sides here.
And Avos not giving it up. We got to chase him all the way back in the lane. Goldblack will turn on him. And yeah, Avos kind of gave him the okey doke there. And giving a few more parting shots on the way out, he'll eat himself a tree and make his way back in the lane. The horn blows and the creeps are on their way in the lanes. Take a look at who's handling who. Leading off for RoX.KIS, it will be Y'all playing on the Bane. It'll be Magnus handled in mid by Solo. It'll be Sadoy playing on our Elder Titan. He's heading into the off lane. He's joined by Goldblack on the Abaddon. And down at bottom, Solo safe, we will have 633 playing on our Ember Spirit. And the other side of the river, it's going to be Funnick going ostensibly one-on-one with him, but we already see rotations over. Y'all's going to be pinged out, so they're aware that he's there, and Puppy's honestly making his way into lane 2. So a couple of auto attacks, and it looks like it'll be all safe there. And would like to run through the rest, but to tell you the truth, these lanes are also volatile. Action could break out at just about any point, so we'll just leave it at that. Let everyone figure out exactly who's going to be handling what hero as we arc in towards the early game.
Yeah, very interesting stuff coming out from RoX.KIS with the dual lane onto Elder Titan. I guess he's not going to die, although he is taking a lot of damage. And I just don't know, because I feel like the idea of what RoX.KIS has is not going to shut down Havos whatsoever. Like, he's going to get free farm up here, or at least get many, many last hits. So I feel like their idea needed to be first priority, kill Lycan, pressure him, don't let him get farm. This idea is just like, we're going to get lots of experience, and we're going to get farm on Elder Titan, but Lycan's going to get farm too. I don't know if that's the right approach here in this game against the Lycan. I think in the games where Lycan gets shut down are the games you win, and they're not going to shut him down this way.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that they're not putting Bane to use in this lane, just trying to make life a little bit more difficult on Evost, if not completely shut him down, just using the Enfeeble early on. I understand the importance of an Ember Spirit getting his farm early too, but it almost makes more sense if they had decided to run the Ember in mid and then put the Magnus in bottom. That way you could dedicate 3 heroes up here to try and force Evost off, try to force some kind of a rotation out of Na'Vi. Mag's going to do okay just through the power of Shockwave in terms of getting a few early CS. He should be able to get a fair amount of experience in the face of a duo lane, or if it's Mag versus Prophet, he'll certainly do just fine in that matchup as well. So instead, Evost really enjoying things, as is Dindy. 12 and 10, the CS leaders on the board right now.
Yeah, or if they just picked a different hero instead of Mag. like I don't know, they could have just done Ember mid, Elder Titan safe lane, and aggressive tried with like some other amazing hero to couple with the Abaddon and Weaver. Like it could have, or sorry, Abaddon and Bane. I was thinking Weaver, that's why I said Weaver. I was like, that could have been great. I don't know if it was banned, but like a hero like that could just run in there, pressure him, not give 2 shits about the lane that Na'Vi has, and just go ham, get free farm, and shut down Evost. I don't know. This Mag pick is just, I don't think it's going to be too effective. Hopefully they prove me wrong for their sake, and once they get a blink up on a solo, they can start forcing some team fights. But it's very hard to force team fights against split push and just pushers in general, like Evost playing the Lycan and then Furion up for Funnick. It's very hard to force fights against those kind of heroes.
Yep, very much agreed. And you know, it's I'm very much in the same mind. I was halfway expecting a Weaver pickup for that last pick. He was not banned, and they banned the last ban, the Lunar. They're going to try to engage onto Evost to give him a little bit of damage as the Aphotic Shield helps him tank through some of that damage. And Evost is going to be careful here. He's going to eat a lot there, yeah. And then the Astral Spirit, Shadow Wave there to keep him alive, but Kuro now could be in trouble. There's going to be another Aphotic Shield on the KKY. Kuro making a run for the tower, and they'll both be able to make it back, but just barely. So the aggressive potential of these two beginning to show itself some. Evost is already back up to full health, though. He's going to move back out. Sadoy doesn't get the damage proc on that. Now hit with the Poison Touch and eating some right-click damage as he tries to escape. Another shield from Gold Black will keep him up and running. Down at bottom, we're going to see the Ember Spirit actually dying right underneath the tower as Puppey ate some damage from him. Got there just in time to see the corpse melt away. But first blood goes to Na'Vi nonetheless, despite all the action up here. Now Kuro once again in some trouble, eating a lot of damage. Evost is coming back out. Sadoy now out of mana, though. But they're continuing to keep the pressure up here.
Yeah, they're actually both out of mana. Evost is playing with fire up there, and I know what his idea was. It was like, try to be aggressive so that they cast their spells and waste their mana, so that I can farm a little bit easier in this lane and Kuroki doesn't get pressure. I'm pretty sure that's his like thinking in the back of his mind. It almost backfired because he did take a lot of damage from that combo, but good pull there from Gold Black. It's going to give him some nice creep equilibrium up there as they really need it, because the top farmers here are definitely Na'Vi's favor. And yeah, first blood coming out for Funnick on the Prophet. Another good start for him against Ember Spirit, who really needs a good start. So, yeah, early laning phase, not so great here for RoX.KIS, but they do have good mid-game team fight. But again, as I mentioned, the problem is forcing team fights, because Na'Vi does not want a team fight. They want to just split push and farm up.
Yep, I think the biggest problem is the 2 heroes that you don't want to have. Hang on, Dindy, got to be Nightmare. Solo's right there. We'll line up the Skewer. And on up to the high ground. Dindy gets off March of the Machines. There's the ultimate from Furion. And Dindy trying to do what damage he can. And Solo will end up dying. So y'all got all of the experience. And couple more creep auto attacks as he's down below 20 HP. And he will be able to bottle himself back up, so he's in good shape there. Down at bottom, we can see Funnick still farming right in the face of BZZ. And atop, Evost continuing to do work. So that actually is a kind of a big win for Dindy, because he got the experience from Magnus's death, while Mag got nothing from that as he died just moments before the Tinker did.
Yeah, it's also a bit good for RoX.KIS because Yul's really close to 6 now after getting solo kill or solo experience on the Tinker. So not too bad, honestly, for RoX.KIS, although it was kind of a blunder. They went on Dendy thinking we were going to kill him, and then Dendy actually gets the counter kill before. So, but yeah, like I said, Yul, he's almost level 6. He's actually just about 100 experience off from that, and that's going to be good because they're definitely going to need that. That's one of their key heroes in this lineup before they get the blink on Mag. It really is.
And everywhere else, things beginning to stay a little bit quiet, at least for the moment. Puppy has made his way to mid and has given up. There's a nightmare on to Puppy. Solo going to try to line up the skewer. Dindy's right there recovering an invis, and Puppy going to be RP'd by himself. Dindy just going to fall back and write that off as a loss. Up at top, we can see Sadoy in some trouble. Sprouted as Funnick teleporting in and securing a kill under their own tier 1, so they end up trading 1 for 1 there. And losing Puppy sucks, but losing the Elder Titan sucks just as much. 2-3. Na'Vi punching and counter punching as best they can, and we can see to the tune of just about $2 grand advantage for them. Gold Black now going to be sprouted in. Havos pops the ultimate. Kuro's right there with him. And the aphotic shield lasted every bit of about a quarter second. He drops. Funnick could be in some trouble, though. Sadoy right there trying to chase him down. Now he's going to come out a little too far. Y'all doing what he can. Just look how quick he melts. Havos has to run as he makes it away with less than about 50 HP. And actually about 70 HP, but another win, and they do manage to bring him down with the Furion ultimate. As Havos, no rotation from mid. Sadoy hit with the poison touch. Here comes another TPN. This is going to be Gold Black coming back in to try and stem this tide a little bit. But the action once again favoring Na'Vi heavily here early on. And now Funnick getting a little too aggressive. Sadoy alive as the Wolves from Havos not enough to bring him down. Here comes the Ember Spirit, though. Grave immediately on the Kuro. Puppy doing what he can to slow him. The burn damage is intense, though. And trying to juke him through the trees. Finally, he spots him out. 1 or 2 auto attacks should be enough as Gold Black's there to finish him off with a miscoil. So just like that, what looked to be a very solid early game lead evaporates in the face of Na'Vi. We're all tied up at 5-5, and that gold heading much closer back to the line of 0.
Yeah, I thought that Funnick was going to disengage. He TP'd in there to try to get the kill onto Elder Titan. But then as soon as he saw the TP from Abaddon, I feel like he should have ran away. Because he just tried to force the issue against... He was just pummeling auto-attacks on Elder Titan. He came close to killing him, actually, but it's very risky when you have an Abaddon just sitting right there ready with shields and heals and whatnot. So a little overextension there from Na'Vi. As far as the gold experience graphs, it's actually still a little bit in favor of them, but slightly. But again, their lineup is one that you need to be much further ahead early on to be really even if you're RoX.KIS. As Tinker, he's got a lot of farm. He's already got his bots up 8 minutes in by clearing several stacks up in his jungle. So Dandy doing very good for himself.
Yep, and this is where problems really begin to come in, because we're going to see the Midas done not too long from now for Funnick. He already has up FaZe and Bassi to go with it. And Havos already has up his Vlads, actually. Could go straight to Treads now if he wants to. Might end up going for a very early medallion like he did before. Solo has his Arc Boots up, and he's a little under halfway towards his Blink Dagger. But Na'Vi, having the global mobility of a Tinker with bots and of a Nature's Prophet, is just going to be able to set the tone and react and counter-react so well.
Yeah, and Ember just doesn't have enough farm. Like, no. He's a fantastic hero. Like, there's a reason why he gets first picked and banned a lot. It's because he's just so good. But he needs farm, and this just does not cut it early on. He's only got 40 CS right here at 9 minutes. In a lane that I feel like, yeah, actually, maybe he shouldn't have like won necessarily, because Lich Furion is actually pretty good. But he did give up first blood, and that's a big deal. So his farm has been kind of stunted as a result.
A little bit of a misstep there from Yol. He actually spent his Fiend's Grip, and it was a little weird. It was like he clicked on Puppy to cast it a long ways away, wandered down into the middle of the river, and then tried to stutter step it and ended up casting it anyway, so it's on cooldown, at least for the moment. Dindy getting a little bit of help now as we can see some rotations. So there, Kuro's there. Havos has made his way into the jungle. At top, we've got a 3-man party of RoX.KIS looking to push this tower. And at bottom, we can see Funnick running BZZ out of lane, or 6-3-3, I guess. But for now, RoX trying to force some kind of reaction. They might decide to just go ahead and counter push this, as they're going to have Kuro and Dindy up there. And Dindy by himself should be enough to thwart this just through the power of March of the Machine, so long as they're well placed. And yeah, he's going to go ahead and bring it off cooldown. Using the rockets, and there's March. Kuro able to help him to force them back, so that's going to be the end of that. Down at bottom, we can see Ember making his way back in the lane. Funnick's going to go ahead and come up to the top lane, though.
Yeah, actually, both teams have very, very good counter push. Like, if you look at RoX.KIS, Elder Titan's amazing for counter push. Mag can just spam out his Shockwave. Ember Spirit, although he's gone points into Flame Guard, later on it'll be very, very good with Sleight of Fist maxed out and Searing Chain. So RoX.KIS right there with those tools, very, very good at counter pushing. But Na'Vi also has really good counter pushing of their own. Tinker's thought of as the best counter pusher. And Funnick with the ultimate and Wrath of Nature is also very, very strong as well. So this is why we have no towers down, despite the heroes that you're looking at from both sides.
Oh, yeah. And I think in games like this, the issue becomes about item development. And Midas is now done on Funnick. That'll be coming at 11.5 minutes with FaZe and Bassi already up. And Tinker did go with a max March of the Machines build, so not only is he going to have excellent push and counter push, it's going to be hard as hell for RoX.KIS to try and take a fight. There's going to be a Fiend's Grip on the Puppy, but Dindy's right there with him. They're going to try to kill him off from distance. And nope, he will be able to make it away as Kuro shows up, and they manage to secure the kill on Bane to the north in the meantime. And it looks like the Rockets actually got the kill from Dindy. Yeah, that mag died up under his own tower as Na'Vi quick to respond and getting the kill on the Bane as well as the Magnus. Here comes another TP, and looks like they want to try to push this back. Funnick hooked up with him. Nice TP from Kuro in the meantime, by the way, to make sure the Puppy stayed alive.
Yeah, well, one of the problems too, and one of the very few with very long range grips, is Elder Titan spotting out this Roshan. He picks up an illusion, but I don't think they're going to have any way to stop this. So though they're TPing in, they want to do something.
Roche very low. They're going to have to get there quick. Here comes the Ember Spirit Remnant. He may decide to go ahead and jump in. And Na'Vi going to be able to bring him down in the meantime. Yep, Lycan managed to get it. Here comes Ember to try to do what damage he can. They're going to have to fall back. RP is up if they want to try to spend it as they funnel in here. Solo thought about it, canceled it out. And there's the weave. Havost pulls back. Solo looking for a target, but he's taking a lot of damage through March of the Machines there. The rest of his team is kind of bailed out. Rockets are there and almost killed him with a little bit of help from right click from the Wolves. Kuro spotted out by Goldblack, doing a little de-warding amidst the chaos. But both teams make it away. Not a lot of health on either side, so they did a lot of damage as no one dropping. Aegis, though, remains in the pocket of Havost.
Yeah, I'm really surprised Ember just didn't get blown up there, because he just YOLO'd in and ran in there with the Remnant, but then he ended up being okay. He's got just brown boots and drums. This is very interesting. But yeah, very nice Roshan there from Na'Vi. I was going to say something about... oh, yeah, the long-range grip in mid. One of the problems with it is it does have very long range, because once you cast and connect, it will stay.
Right.
So even if they move a little bit. And so it's very long range. But the problem with that is if you don't have enough damage to kill him, and if you're very, very close, you can't actually couple it up with a brain sap, because the range won't be well, it won't be in range. So you'd have to walk up first, but you can't do that. You just kind of sit there and hope that you get the kill with enough damage from your Fiend's Grip. So as a result, Puppy was able to just run away. And Lich has high movement speed too. Yep. I know it's 405 right now with Tranquils, but when they're not activated, they're still very high as well. So there's kind of a small problem there. And then, yeah, good double kill there from Na'Vi in the mid game. So yeah, Na'Vi is off to a very, very good start once again. This is the lineup that, again, once you get up to this kind of start, it just gets that much more difficult once you approach the mid game.
Yep. Blink Dagger done on Dindy. It is worth mentioning, by the way, I don't know if you caught it, but Havost just fed the Aegis away. Right after that engagement, he just went and died to neutrals and died to the Ancients near the Roche pit. But we're getting to see some rotations. Goldblack going to be spotted by Havost using the Aphotic Shield. Let's see if they can catch him. Funnick's going to be teleporting in. Yeah, they've got him. There's going to be the Sprout, and Shield buys him a little bit of time. He's going to proc the borrowed time. Kuro right there with him and doing what body blocking he can. TP's coming into mid. Goldblack, tanky as he is, he's not that tanky. Behind that, we can see Sidoi coming back in. Funnick, Nightmare, and now they're going to engage. There's the Weave coming out as well. There's going to be the Chain Frost, and the Stomp got 3. RP on the just one, though. That's going to be Puppy. Puppy hit with the Shallow Grave. Well played by Kuro. Yol's going to manage to catch Kuro with the Fiend's Grip, but Dindy's there, and he's putting out a lot of damage in conjunction with Havost. So they end up trading 2 for 2 overall. Abaddon and Bane for Funnick and Kuroki on the Dazzle. So honestly, I don't think that was that awful of an exchange for RoX.KIS, trading away a couple of supports in exchange for 1 core.
Yeah, I feel bad for Puppy, because I feel like that Lich Chain Frost should have bounced to... oh, here's some action to Sidoi. He's getting very, very low here in mid. But yeah, I feel bad for him, because he used the ult on the Ember, and I think he was right next to Bane, and it just didn't bounce. I felt it was like just a bit out of range. But I thought it was definitely going to bounce. And if it did, it could have been a much better team fight there for Na'Vi. But nonetheless, they're still in a great position. They're going to count split push here. Bottom tower, first tower of the game actually to go down in favor of Na'Vi.
And let's see if Na'Vi wants to continue to push. Funnick has his book done. It's sitting back at the base, though. Needs to get it into his inventory. And might have been on the courier there. Didn't even see. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was in his inventory. Goldblack once again spotted out. Here comes Kuro. Hits him with a poison touch. Dindy right there behind him. Pops the Aphotic Shield. Borrowed time. procs as well, and the Wolves keeping an eye on him. You know, it's something we hadn't even really talked about, the effectiveness of the Wolves to spot and give you vision for the Rockets from Tinker. And we've seen them do that a number of times now. Here's going to be a smoke coming out of RoX.KIS as they try to take one on their own terms. And we can see in lane, Funnick caught by the Ember, manages to TP out just before the shockwave gets there though. And Na'Vi is yet to really abandon. Dindy continuing to just spam out the damage that he can. And these poor supports can't stand up to it very well. Kuro and Puppy coming in from the north. They were spotted out. There's a shadow wave. Go Black had eyes on him. Dindy coming back in. Blinks in, gets a lot of damage done to Ember Spirit in the meantime. Havos is back in the jungle. Looks like they will go ahead and finally retreat and go ahead and reset for another push.
Yep. And it looks like 633 is just going to go for a battle through here. I'm not quite sure. I'm very interesting that he hasn't upgraded his boots too. I just think this looks so wonky. Brown boots and drums. I don't know. But could see a grip here in mid. Nope, he's just asleep.
Here we go. Ember Spirit ready to move into the fight. We'll be able to get Funnick with the Searing Chains. After that, Stomp was on the mark as well, just in case. And behind that, Magnus is able to deny the tower. The rest of Na'Vi set to scramble. Has to pull back. There's going to be a book done on both Funnick and Lycan now, though. Havos finishing his book 2, while Funnick should be, has his in his inventory. So at 8 to 9, at about 18 minutes in, RoX.KIS, even though they're basically holding their own ground, they just gave up so much early that Na'Vi is way too far ahead. And a lot of this, again, comes down to just the global, not just farming potential, but pushing potential and the ability to free space with good movement and good communication. And Dindy just continuing to harry poor Solo no matter where he goes.
Yep, and I mentioned how it was a good tool from Ember, specifically with Battle Fury, to be able to kill up those books and those Necro minions, to be able to kill the red ones but not take damage. But he's not up to that point yet where you can actually do that. Is that some action onto Solo. There's a lot of long-range damage coming out from Dendy, by the way. He's just rearming constantly, and those rockets are just dishing out so much damage. Top tower, again, going to fall here, most likely for RoX.KIS.
They're going to charge out. As soon as the Ember shows up, there's the Ancestral Spirit. Funnick making a run for it. And Prophet does manage to secure the last bit of it and able to TP away at the same time. So free tower for them, but look at bottom. This is what we were talking about. They forced a big reaction at top, and now they've got Funnick there and the Tinker. Dindy, though, not even helping to push at this point, just doing his thing in the jungle, just trying to get big as quick as he can. Up at top, gonna have an engagement onto Sadoy. And they may be able to get him. There's a nice mech, though. Puppy throws out the ultimate. Great grave from Kuro's going to keep him alive, but a Stomp caught everything and everyone. And they're going to be able to burn at least one down. Puppy making his way into the trees, and Kuro trying to stay alive. Puppy will be able to make it away before they can catch back up with him. Havos coming back in to try and clear house, and being blocked out by so many creeps and good body blocking from Gold Black. We're going to see the Ember trying to make a run for it. Havos going to turn on Sadoy, unable to bring him down as well, but going to use that movement speed to continue to pursue. The ultimate does wear off, and Gold Black will be pulling back. Here comes Dindy, teleporting into the creeps as well, and lots of damage, and the Dagon showed off for the first time as they secure a kill off the back of that. Almost got Gold Black, but he, at the borrowed time, managed to save him. In the meantime, at bottom, we can see they did manage to split push down that tier 2 there, and the damage coming out from all of this long-range magic potential is gigantic. Na'Vi beginning to just really get into the groove of things, and RoX.KIS is feeling a little punch drunk on the ropes right now.
Yeah, and some action, and Dandy's just all over the frickin' place, man.
Yep. He's
going to rearm here, maybe even nets a kill onto Solo. Yep, he does net a kill onto Solo. Gold Black not in time with the shield or the mist coil to save him. It's just too fast from Dandy. Look at him go.
Just taking this game over. Solo's there. Might spend an RP if they can solo kill him, but Dindy continuing to blink around. Continues to have Havos there to help him out as well. And yep, they're just going to go ahead and go right ahead and farm, even though they were pursuing that. At bottom, we might see a kill onto Funnick, as Ember has eyes on him, and nope, damage just not there. Battle Fury not even done on him yet, so he is hurting in the damage department. They're going to be able to chase him down. Poison Touch was used. He's going to turn and do what damage he can. Got the Searing Chains, but no. Dindy back active on the map. We can see in terms of net worth, he and Havos are right towards the top at the KD 6-1 for Mr. Dindymon.
Here comes Solo looking for an RP, not able to find it as he backs away swiftly with the skewer right there. His tower goes down, and look at this, just towers falling left and right.
Yep.
There was no towers down for like 11 minutes or something, and then bam, almost all the outer towers here for RoX.KIS are dead. And it's just massive split push. Necrobook's coming up amok here for Na'Vi. Tons of damage on the gold block. He's forced to pop the ultimate. Here comes Dandy.
Yep. And that's more laser beams. Nice RP and the stomp to follow. Let's see if they can capitalize. Kuro should end up dead here. There's going to be the ult. Oh, what a great grave to keep himself alive. Funnick's going to be hit with the Fiend's Grip. Sadoy, though, not likely to survive. Couple of auto attacks bring him down. That's a triple kill for Dindy. And let's see, one-on-one. Yep, they're going to call the GG just as they finally bring down the Tinkers. So another short game, a 2-0 victory for Na'Vi, downing RoX.KIS and their D2L Western Challenge debut in a couple of games that put together last less than an hour. I'd say Na'Vi looked pretty good.
They looked really damn good. Actually, that was a fake GG. Oh wait, no.
Nah, we're good.
It was a long one. But yeah, no, Na'Vi looked so good. And again, one thing to note is that I think you mentioned that they picked what, 3 of the same, or was it 4 of the same 5 heroes last game? I know they had Lycan, Lich, and Furion. Did they have Dazzle?
No.
No, it was Visage.
Yeah,
that's right.
Visage.
And then Dendy was Bat in mid instead. But nonetheless, they had the same exact style as the first game. And while it started off with a good draft, I think, from RoX.KIS, I don't understand the mag pick at all. Like, his RP is good and all, but I feel like if they wanted to do some kind of aggressive lane, they needed to do it with a hero that could actually shut Lycan's farm down. Lycan's farm did not get shut down. He had 154 CS, and he was able to do exactly what he wanted throughout the entirety of that game. And while they had decent farm onto Elder Titan up top, with Abaddon just being able to shield him and keep him alive, and they almost got some kills, it wasn't enough at all. And I think they needed to pick a different hero instead of Mag and just try lane with that hero. Send Ember mid, and then maybe send Elder Titan in to save him. But well played by Na'Vi. The Tinker play from Dendy was just phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Funnick had a great series as well. Even though his score was 5-4, he was all over the map and just was able to pressure constantly with the Wrath of Nature. Well played by Na'Vi.
Yeah, well drafted, I think. Just the way they made the lineup work for them. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to look and go, well, they're going to be able to push with a Tinker, a Prophet, and a Lycan. But to do it the way they did it, to just carve the map up as well as they did. And I think a lot of it comes down to the laning phase, too. We both talked about that and how you basically were just deciding that it was going to be okay for a Tinker and a Lycan to get the first 5-10 minutes of free farm. And I don't know that I see that strategy succeed all that often. Usually, if you're going to have a chance against the Lycan in particular, but Tinker as well, especially a well-handled Tinker played by Dindy, it's all about keeping them down and keeping them feeling ineffective and slow in their development of items, and just not in the cards for RoX.KIS. So they fall to 0-1 in the overall D2L standings, while Na'Vi finishes out their D2L Western Challenge schedule, netting a 5-2 final record, which puts them right on par with EG in terms of those top 2 slots. EG's 5-1 right now and has one series remaining. Pretty sure it actually is against RoX.KIS. And I'd have to double check on the points and stuff like that, but looking very likely that it's going to be Na'Vi and EG who wind up in our top 1 and top 2 position and get that bye through the first round of our playoffs. Thanks so much for being a part of the broadcast, guys. I'm your host here at AC Chambers. The voice here on the other side, that's Trouf. And this is Series 1 of our doubleheader here today. Done. We'll be coming back. I'm going to guess these are some very short games, so probably about 90 minutes from now, give or take. We'll have our second series coming up. Make sure you stick around for that. And make sure you follow us on Twitter. You can also follow the D2L on Twitter for all of your updates. D2LGG on Twitter for all of your updates. Not just about the Western Challenge, but about all of the events we do here at the D2L. You can also find me, AC, at AYESEE. And on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/AECTV, as well as Facebook and YouTube, a variety of other services. You can check me out there. And Trouf, make sure you check him out at TralfDota, TRALFDOTA. And go ahead and plug your stream, my friend, and anywhere else you care to plug.
Yeah, it's twitch.tv/Trouf, and I actually have been streaming recently.
Oh, so, have you? Didn't catch it.
I streamed a little bit yesterday, and I will hopefully stream today as well if I get the chance, but yep.
Well, make sure you check him out. Make sure you watch him stream, and make sure you stick around. Again, 90 minutes from now, we'll be having our second series of the day. Hope to see you then here at the D2L. We'll be right back.